This is an excerpt from Living Faith Makes God Real by E.Faith, Stewart. Chapter 4. God's Whatsoever. Mark 11:24. The outgoing of a passenger boat delayed 3 days that prayer might be answered. A group of God's children were gathered in for a special sunrise prayer service, seeking divine help in the paying of a church indebtedness that was due on this same day. A fervent spirit of prayer rested on many hearts, and we had the assurance that God was going to answer in a marvelous way. After having prayed for some time, Mother Gonzalez, a real saint of God, reached over from where she had been praying and quietly called the pastor and me out into a side room and told us that she had the exact amount we needed for this church debt in her home, and that God had spoken clearly to her, telling her to loan it to us so the bill due could be paid that morning. Then the Lord would send it to us, and we could give it back to her. She said it had been sent to pay the passage of 3 of her little grandchildren to New York, where their parents lived. The parents had asked that they be sent there in company with a lady friend who was sailing the following day. After knowing that the money would need to be on hand that afternoon or early the next morning to be able to purchase the tickets and properly plan for the trip, we hesitated to accept the use of the money. But the good sister was very definitely declaring that God had spoken to her and that she must obey. So we trustingly accepted it and at once paid the bill. That day nothing came to us, and the lady with whom the children were to have been sent grew very angry when she knew what had been done. She declared she was going on that boat the following day and that the children would be left behind. But God, who had given instructions to this dear sister regarding the use of the money, knew full well just how to work it all out. The following day no money came, but we felt a great calm in our souls, being assured that the dear Lord would not fail us. In the afternoon, a few hours before time for passengers to embark, a strong tempest raised, and in the streets trees were uprooted, small buildings were destroyed, and sailing was impossible. Because of the terrible storm that swept around the coast, the boat was held in the docks for 3 days over time. On the morning of the 3rd day, God sent the money in full. The tickets were quickly purchased, and the children left on the boat just as they had planned to do. Praise our God! He is the God of the whole universe. He controls the land and seas. He speaks, and the waves obey his voice. That evening, as the ship went plowing out its way through the seas, the hearts of a group of God's children in Cuba were singing praises to his name, exalting him before the people for his mighty power and for his wonderful works to the children of men.